Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Millennial Chronicles. To my existing subscribers, thank you for always watching. Thank you for always, encouraging me, sharing my content. It means a lot to me. We're on the journey to 500 subscribers before November 24th so that I can apply for my YouTube internship program so that I can give you guys awesome and better content while we are on a journey to 1K subscribers before December. You guys, I think that we're doing good with our content and more people can benefit from it. I also really appreciate the comments, the feedback. It means that I'm doing something right. It means that this gift that I have is actually impacting your life, and the channel is growing. We are now at a stage where we are able to bring in celebrity guests to grace our show and share, their insights on different topics. So if you're new here, we talk about lifestyle, career, and branding. So on today's episode, I'm just talking about something that is very interesting and somewhat controversial, right? But it's something that is very important, especially as Christian creatives, that we talk about it. So today we'll be talking about creatives, women, and vices. All right. And today I have with me a special guest in the house. I'll let him introduce himself first and we'll take it up from there.
Ayola, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
So good to be here. My name is Daniel, and I'm the creative lead at Mainstream HQ, Mainstream Visuals. I'm a photographer, I'm a designer, I design, and I'm a food and tech enthusiast. I love food and I love tech. So, among many other things, but that's basically what I can mention for now. So, pretty much, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so fun fact. I'm sure you guys would come across this fun fact in most of my videos. So Mainstream was actually one of my wedding photographer. I actually met him through my husband. My husband is a photographer as well. So Mainstream shot some of my pre-wedding pictures. I'll try to include link to some of the Instagram posts in the video in the comment section, and his Instagram handle as well, so that you guys can follow him. He also shot my white wedding, which was my favorite part of the ceremonies. The pictures were actually spectacular. So I'll leave you guys to go and watch it. Anyways, so let's just go into today's topic, right? We're talking about creatives, women, and vices. When you hear that, what comes to your mind? Like, what do you think we're going to be talking about?
Uh, Pretty much the craft, the maybe the temptations or the things you get to like grasp as a result of the fact that you're a creative, multi-talented or talented, however you want to put it, and then the perks, the highs and lows, etc., etc. So, but I'm ready
A
to see what you
creative
have
person.
to bring up there. So,
Okay, so let's just build a background, right?
okay.
How long have you been a photographer? Is that the only thing you do as a creative? Are you only a photographer?
No. So, like I said earlier, I'm a photographer, professional photographer.
Okay.
I'm also a designer.
Okay.
I design like graphic
Like,
design.
okay.
Yes. I'm also a tech enthusiast. I'm a
Okay.
food enthusiast. I love tech. I'm into the tech space, so I love tech a lot. And I'm also a food enthusiast.
So that means you cook, you like to cook,
Yeah,
and you like
love
to eat.
cook. I love to cook. I love to eat. I love food.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think
that-
I look like food, don't I? But I'm just
Okay. So how long have you been? So photography is the main thing you do.
yes.
So
Yes.
how long have you been a photographer?
Photography. I've been a photographer for about this 2023, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
What's your niche, or do you just snap? You just take anything, or do you
In
have-
all honesty, I do everything.
Okay.
So I'm not one of those photographers that want to be perceived as a routine. Oh, this is what he does and all that.
Okay.
So I shoot weddings. I shoot portraits well. I creative portraits as well. Products, you name it. Just call us and we're there.
And you're there. Great,
Basically.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say as a creative, as a photographer in Nigeria? What would you say that the challenges have been for you?
Pretty much. Trust me, the most difficult part is always the starting, right? Starting is always the most difficult part. I mean, and it's not just about being a creative or being a photographer, a videographer, and all that. It's cuts across everything. I remember when I was about to start the craft, I started the craft based on my passion for the craft. As a matter of fact, I was primarily a graphic designer and I was more into tech then. I would design websites and all those things there. And photography was not just going to be the thing. I wasn't thinking about it. It was just me saying, I love what this thing looks like. I mean, the story of how I started would be the story for another day. Maybe you can find that out on my channel and all that. But it's always the starting and the sustainability and also the administrative part. That is the commercial aspect of the craft, which can sometimes be the most challenging sometimes, because when you don't know how to operate your business, then you just might not know what you're missing out on. You understand? So so pretty much the starting, the sustainability, how to keep your craft skill-wise, and also skill-wise, basically, you have to deliver good stuff. That's what will spur people to book you, or at least quality clients to book you. So pretty much that's just basically the thing. And administratively, what are your tactics or your strategies
for your business?
You understand, for your business?
Okay, so I'm sure that we have challenges and we also have the advantages or the perks. So what are the perks of being a photographer?
First thing first, the fact that I don't have to wake up 5 a.m. and go to any office.
Wow, shade on we 9 to 5, but it's
no
okay.
offense to 9 to 5 hours.
More like we're doing 5 to 9. God have mercy.
So no offense, but personally, it's a personal question, so I can share my opinion anyway. So the fact that I don't have to wake up very early, except when obviously there is a booking that requires me waking up early, like when I have a wedding to shoot and all that. And again, the fact that there is so much time for self-development. And I'm a photographer, right? But there are a lot of other things I do for self-development. I venture into a lot of other things. Like I said, among other things, I'm a sucker for learning. I like to learn. I like to grow. That's my MO. You understand? It's something that people that work around me, people, my staffs, people that have interned with me and all that already know this about me. I'm not an old back teacher. I teach, by the way, so I teach photography a lot. So I'm not an old back teacher. I just give you everything. Succeed, just go and see no more. You understand? But then that's not where it ends for me. That's where it starts for me. You understand? So that's where I go back and upgrade, so that there's always an upgraded version whenever you come, right? So that's the kind of person I am. So you don't answer to anyone except yourself. And when you fail, you know your answer to yourself. You criticize yourself, self-criticism, and you also grow from it. Don't let it bring you down. And again, the fact that, like I said, it's basically the growth aspect. That's one of the advantages I see in it. You socialize with people, you get to meet people. When you meet people, you get to have this understanding on how to relate with more people. So because your life doesn't start and end in photography, there's also the outside world.
Absolutely.
Growing up, I was privileged to be in an administrative setting, and that has kind of like helped me in my current craft, because administratively, you just have to understand human behavior. When you understand human behavior, some things people will do, you'll not even be angry. You won't be angry, you won't be pissed, because you're like, people are people. People would always be people. So pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So now to the main gist. All right. Over the years or in recent times, or as you know, every other day, there are different scandals in the creative industry. You can call it entertainment industry, but I think, like there's a bit of fine line between the two. But then the creatives in general, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a videographer, whether you're a musician, an artist of any sort, right? There are scandals, and it seems more like the scandals are like more peculiar to the men, right? What's your take? What do you think?
Well, I don't know of so many scandals, but we hear things, right? And we see things, right? So so the truth is this, so when you're working with people, any setting that has people involved, every setting has people involved anyway. But any setting that you know that you're working with people, you can't really control how people behave
True
and
that.
all that.
True that.
You're going to have the good, you're going to have the bad.
Absolutely.
So it's something that isn't in our control. There's already the Adamic nature in man. So you can't, people will always be people. That's why I'm a religious person, very religious. And there's a reason why you're different from another person.
Absolutely.
The reason why I am different from Mr. B is because I'm born again. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I'm different in the sense that there are some things that appeal to them that might not appeal to me. So in that case, there will definitely be things that entice people. You have the craft already connects you very much and much more to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So it's not a normal thing, but it's an expectation that these things might occur. There's an expectation that these things might occur.
Oh yeah.
However you feel like we can control it, I do not know personally. I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
But you have people in a setting, and you have a business that draws more of the opposite sexes to each other.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be some kind of a constant.
Yeah. So as a photographer, I know for a fact, because my husband is also a photographer, so I know for a fact that most of your clients are women. Women are the ones that like to take pictures. It's not a natural to most men to want to take pictures. Even when you find them, at your studio or booking for yourself, either it's their wife or their sisters that is like, babe, let's take pictures and all that. So how do you manage relationship with your female clients such that boundaries are not crossed, even when this client is trying to, obviously cross those boundaries? How do you ensure? Because it's very important that you maintain a kind of business that people know that you're someone of integrity and you respect, opposite sex. And in a society where, there's so much conversation around, protecting the rights of women, seeking equal opportunities for women, ensuring that women's rights are being protected and they're not being abused or manipulated in any way. How do you ensure that, you have those fine boundaries and they're communicated to your female clients?
Shout out to all the women out there. I really do like women and I like the fact that women, bulk of my customers are women. Even the men that are my customers, it came through their wives.
Absolutely.
Right? So shout out to all the women out there. And personally, I have utmost respect for women. And in all my relations as a creative, I don't think anybody can say otherwise about me. But you said something about how do you manage these things? How do you control these things? Okay, pretty much. Like I did mention something earlier when I talked about the administrative part of your business.
Yeah. So
my assistant, my major assistant that would always be on every set whenever I'm shooting, is a female, right? And that was pretty strategic for me because, I'm not married now, right? Fine. But I'll get married eventually, right? Women have a way they love to set boundaries, especially when you're in a serious relationship or you're in a marriage. So your wife will start telling you, this woman, this client, now wow, you guys are always texting, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Women are women, amazing people, right? But the truth is that as a business person, put the administrative in place. I have a female assistant in ways whereby maybe there are some kind of interactions. You see some clients will tell you, help me zip up and all that. There's nothing bad in any photographer doing that. There are people that do it without having any ulterior motive at all. But I just kind of feel it makes sense when a female, help her adjust this, help her do this. Can you help me? Can you help me do that? She wants to change. Can you help her? And you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it was a very good strategy for me to control that aspect of the business. Apart from the fact that she's very useful for a whole lot more, right? But I knew that was a very good strategy for my business to have a female on the team. And she's always very enthusiastic. And trust me, most of my clients end up falling in love with her because it just brings a connection. Imagine a woman enters the studio and it's just all guys. And guys, they say guys are not smiling. And guys are not smiling, they're just like, let's do this shoot and get it over with. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get
And the lady begins to feel a little bit, not hostile, but a little bit. That's where training comes in place. As a photographer or as a team lead, you have to have trainings for your staffs
members, yeah.
or your team members, and that cuts across their interactions, conduct, etc., etc. So these things that I'm saying are just expos on business structures that every creative should have. I'm a photographer, so I can speak from that angle. I don't know if it relates to other creative angles, but from my own angle, I believe this totally connects with it. Yeah. So that's one thing that I have done to control that aspect of the business. Now, for some people, they have PAs that respond to conversations in their stead, right? So those things also really do help, because you've distanced yourself a little bit from the business in a way that there is no room for that kind of exchange. However, it doesn't mean that you can't have good relationships with some of your clients. So for instance, for some photographers or for some creatives, they have personal assistants that control their social media.
Yeah.
One of the major channels to any form of contact is through active communication via phone numbers and all that.
Yeah.
But when you've breached that aspect, right, as a person, especially a man that knows his weakness, for instance, you understand what I'm saying? You create those kind of boundaries that help you keep apart, right? So some people have PAs and those people respond in their stead. So that makes it kind of like, that's another way that creatives can control these vices.
And set boundaries. I like what you said about knowing your weakness, your shortcomings, and then creating boundaries around you that protects you. You know, there was something that went viral. A popular man of God said something about, you know, that at his age, he has a male PA, and, you know, like, people, especially like feminists, came out and were dragging him and all. And I think that many times as we young people, there's this all-knowing kind of sense that we carry about, that we feel like we can do no wrong, even when we know that, I mean, these are our weaknesses and we need to address them, right? So I want to talk about creatives. So these days we hear things like Christian creatives. I'm sure people have different meaning to it. Maybe a Christian that creates content is a Christian creative, or the kind of content that you create is what makes you a Christian creative. But scandals that we've had over the years in recent times, you know, are always it's regardless of whether you're a Christian creative or you're a secular creative. So is it because as a Christian you haven't put in proper boundaries, or you are in denial of your weaknesses, or, you know, is it just impossible for people not to, you know, especially for the men, you know, because we have more men in this field than women. That's why it looks like we have more men having these issues. But as a Christian creative, why are we also suffering like the same fate as those in the secular space?
So let me start by I personally do not know if there's anything like Christian creative. Right? I know there is creative. I don't know whether to categorize it outrightly as secular, so it doesn't end up being misinterpreted. But what I would say that I know is that they are creatives. Now, what's the essence of tagging Christian creatives and they fall short? When they fall short, what does that say about the Christian tag? Right? So I would rather tune to the fact that I know of the fact that they are creatives. Now, what separates you as a creative is your conduct. Your conduct, and that cuts across your morals, how you interact with people, your utterances, etc., your demeanor, and all that stuff. So it's so when we refer that to why do Christian creatives suffer the fate of this and all that, I feel whatever a man does, right, every man is somehow responsible for their actions and all. So it's I would not want to answer that question. I don't want you to also quote me outrightly, right? But I don't believe in the whole structure of a Christian creative and a secular creative. I believe there is creative.
Yeah.
And the creative, because at the end of the day, you going to work, that's your secular activity. you working in your company. That's secular. Those are all secular activities. So, like, if will I
My
call you?
secular career.
So you're a
woman.
manager, yeah. So I call you a Christian manager. Then people get confused because they don't even know Christian manager. We're in what company? This company. Oh, is there anything like that there? But what I'm trying to say is that what makes you the unsaid, which is a Christian manager or the good representative of Christ as a Christian, would then be your conduct. Are you get what I'm saying? Your conduct, and that's what people will use to define you. So I feel good behavior does not guarantee anything. The same you can say for bad behavior as well. Some people are not well behaved and they are making waves. Some people are well behaved and they are not making waves. I strongly believe in continuous work on yourself and waiting for your time. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Continuous work on yourself, then you wait for your time. Of course, there are other things that you might not be doing well that you can learn from other people. Attend activations, all these conferences and all that. Hear from people. Attend trainings, hear from people. And you get what I'm saying? You might just have been missing something from your craft. Right? So that's how I'm going to categorize the whole secular to Christian, creative, and all that. It's your conduct plays a huge role. It helps you evade things that has to do with immorality that might want to stain you and all that. So it's basically all about your conduct. Some of the scandals that you might have or might have not heard of in the industry, some of them are from this quote and unquote from the people we tag as Christian creatives. So what does that say about them? You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They are just being creatives and being human in a way, but it's our own duty as armies in Christ to be able to like control that. How much more are we doing in our craft?
Absolutely.
Are you get what I'm saying? Are we so Christian creatives, for instance, are you snapping only gospel singers? Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to do your work.
Yeah.
The Bible says, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as they are so prospering. So the Bible literally emphasizes on prosperity on all fronts, not selectively. You understand what I'm saying? Father, I'm a Christian and I'm a Christian, doesn't mean if Guinness calls me for a job, I'll say, no, I don't shoot beers. And you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
You go for the job, right? So it's now when you go for the job, what's your conduct? Are you putting up a character that people will see and want to model after? Are you get what do people sense when they meet you? People connect with spirits a lot. Like when they see you, they can already connect with you in some kind of way. When people see some people and they're there's a odd vibe around this person. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's basically my take on that here.
Okay. So I mean, in summary, I like what you said that we have creatives, and regardless of whether you just want to shoot Christians or what, the fruits you bear, the character
That's
is what
key.
in itself determines who you represent and what you carry.
Yeah.
And most importantly, setting boundaries, knowing your weaknesses and setting boundaries. Even as a career person, as a 9 to 5, there are conversations you don't have with people. There are people that you don't spend time with outside of work hours, or you don't go alone to see, because you know that because you're a Christian or because you're human, you're already flawed already, right? So you will not intentionally put yourself in harm's way. And temptation is not beyond or above anybody. It's the boundaries we set in place that helps us to manage our lives and all. Because I mean, really, we have creatives that have gone on to be successful, that have good marriages, good homes, built successful careers, and have zero scandals. It's not because they don't have weaknesses, or like you said, it's because they've identified them and then they've put in boundaries in place. And I like that you also share some business strategy tips, for people that are looking into the creative space. So I just want you to, if you're to advise someone now that wants to, an upcoming photographer, an upcoming creative, right? I know he also has a YouTube channel as well. He does his videos himself and he edits them himself. So, and he has also mentioned that he's a tech enthusiast and a food enthusiast as well. So if you have someone that is multi-talented, but maybe their core focus is photography just like you and they are upcoming, what would be your advice, for the person?
So my advice is this. Regardless of everything that I've been able to learn over the years or knowledge I've been able to gather, I have something that I am yearning to be a master at, right? So you can be a jack of all trades, but never be a master of none. Be a master of at least one, right? At least one. Meaning when you master one, you don't end at that. You can decide to master another one. It's better than, being a jack of all trades and master of none is like you building uncompleted buildings or houses. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you built everything, you roofed it, put a window, but you've not painted the outside. So all the houses look the same, look the same to me, because I'm like, okay, he has 10 houses. What's the color of the houses? Plastered. Are you get what I'm saying? But when you paint one, you paint the other one. There's a level of perfection that keys you into. So my advice is this: don't stop, continue, but be a master in at least one of your trades. Be a master in at least one of your trades. Very important. Trust me. Right? I'm work in progress myself. I'm not talking from the angle of someone that has made it all or someone that knows it all. I'm saying I'm teaching you the way I am also learning. Right? So be a master of at least one. It's going to really, really define you. It will define you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So we're going to, there's no point doing a recap. It literally has wrapped up the show for us. So we've come to the end of today's vlog. I want to say thank you especially.
Thank you for having me.
Answering when we called. Thank you so much. I hope that we've learned one or two things. Today we've talked about creatives, women, vices or scandals, as you can like to call it. We've talked about quite a number of things as well, about creatives and, for the young people that are looking to come into the creative industry. All right. Thank you for watching. Please, as usual, like, comment, and subscribe. And share as well.
Share, please.
We're on a journey to 500 subscribers before
get up to
24th of November.
Please.
And
Please.
1K subscribers by December. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.